Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. I'm your host Safa and you are listening to Crime Pod. Previously on this channel, I have covered the case of Neeraj Grover. If you haven't stumbled upon that video, the link is already given in the I button of this video. Do check it out. Let's delve into today's case. Today we are going to cover a case which is appalling to its core, as it involves a mother who, in order to hide her surreptitious relation from the world, did something which not only defiled the sacred relation between a mother and child but shocked the whole country. I'm talking about a case which took place as recently as February of 2024, the case of Shanta Sharma and Ishrat Parveen. Our story takes us to Adarsh Nagar, Hooghly, West Bengal, where lived a family of three: Pankaj Sharma, his wife Shanta Sharma, and their only child Shiranshu. The couple got married in 2012, and just 2 years after their marriage, they bore a child whom they named Shiranshu. Shiranshu was a cute little boy who was adored by everyone. A fourth grader, Shiranshu was a good student and spent his free time playing with his female cousin, who was the same age as him, and his pet dog Shadow. His father Pankaj Sharma worked in a firm in Calcutta and usually left for work early in morning and came late at around 8 or 9 at night. His mother Shanta Sharma worked at a restaurant. She had a close friend named Ishrat Parveen whom she knew since her childhood. They were so close that Ishrat on a daily basis visited Sharma's house and Shiranshu called her Mausi. At some places, her name is mentioned as Ifat, but we will call her Ishrat to avoid any confusion. In January of 2024, Shiranshu's family and friends started to notice that he looked slightly depressed and was becoming reclusive. It was as if something was weighing him down, but what sort of thing can have this effect on a child's psyche, no one knew. He even had a fight with a senior at his school. On February 16, 2024, at around 4 pm, Shiranshu's female cousin, like usual, came to his house to play with him, but he was nowhere to be seen. Shiranshu, Shiranshu, the little girl must have said, expecting her cousin to reply, but there wasn't any. She started checking around the house and soon she noticed sound of TV coming from one of the rooms. The girl thought to herself, so that's why he wasn't answering. He is watching TV. And she opened the door, but what she saw there in that room is something no child should see. She let out a scream and came bounding out of the Sharma's house. Pedestrians and neighbors saw her and inched closer to her and inquired, "What happened, little girl? What's the matter? Why are you screaming?" The girl pointed to the Sharma's house, at which the crowd entered the house and eventually reached a room where the little girl saw something. It was Shiranshu laying in what was a pool of his own blood. His throat and both wrists were slit and he was battered all over. There was blood everywhere in the room and the murder weapon, a vegetable knife, was found close by. The blade was bent. Somebody had used their full force while killing Shiranshu, and the crowd thought whoever did this was a monster. Police was informed and soon Shiranshu's parents were also present in the room. They couldn't believe it. Their only child had been mercilessly killed, but why? What did he do to deserve this? Who would do this, and that too to a child? Shiranshu's body was moved out for necropsy and police began their investigation. They tried to question the parents, but they seemed grief-stricken and weren't talking. Shiranshu's cousin came to his house at around 4 pm on February 16 and Shiranshu came back from school at around 2 pm. So the murder must have took place between that period. At that time, his parents were usually at their work, so Shiranshu was home alone. At first, police thought that the murderer was an outsider, a stranger, but upon questioning the neighbors, they found that Shadow, Sharma's pet dog, was tethered at house, and no one heard him bark, as it would have been impossible for the neighbors in this close-knit community to not hear the dog barking, and on top of that, nothing of value was taken, and there was no signs of a break-in. Whoever did this was aware of the family's routine and knew when to strike, and their target was Shiranshu. With this info on the hand, police narrowed down their net and were now investigating only neighbors and the people close to the family. Police went and questioned the senior with whom Shiranshu had a scuffle before his death, but they were informed that it wasn't anything significant, just a normal tussle between two kids. It wasn't anything to kill for. They checked the CCTV of one of the cameras near Sharma's home, and in that CCTV, they saw a strange woman going away from Sharma's house trying to veil her face with a handkerchief. They asked people who this woman might be, and she was identified to be Ishrat Parveen, Shanta's best friend. Neighbors told police about Ishrat's frequent visits to Sharma's house, and at first police suspicion fell on Pankaj Sharma. They thought that maybe he was having an affair with Ishrat and Shiranshu found out about it. That certainly does explain his strange behavior before his death. So they checked both Ishrat's and Pankaj's phone record, but Pankaj's phone record was clean. There was nothing there to rouse suspicion, but Ishrat's phone record was a different story, and police were on to something. There was close to none correspondence between Pankaj and Ishrat, but there was one number Ishrat called regularly, and that number was Shanta's. They would talk for hours on end and would chat with each other through text messages till late night. The messages shared between them were nothing like the messages between two best friends but were of lovers. Police thought it strange, but they couldn't wrap their head around this. So they asked Pankaj about this, and Pankaj revealed that he knew about this. His wife Shanta and Ishrat were lovers, and their relation was going on even before his marriage with Shanta. When he found about their relationship, he kept quiet because of society and thought that they will stop after Ishrat's marriage, but they didn't. Police noticed that Ishrat, who lived in Vatganj, nearly 25 kilometers away from Sharma's home, was there at the day Shiranshu was killed, as the CCTV footage showed that, and on top of that, her phone was switched off from 2 pm to 8 pm that day. Her phone was in Vatganj, but she wasn't. Why? Isn't it odd in this day and age when people are practically glued to their phones? Suspicious of her, police arrested Ishrat from her home in Vatganj and took her to police station, where upon interrogation she spewed everything out. She admitted of killing Shiranshu, but she revealed something else which shocked even police. She said, "I wasn't alone, Goody was also involved." Police didn't skip a beat and arrested the monster in human skin known as Shanta Sharma. At first, she denied any involvement, but after she came to know that Ishrat had spilled the beans on her, she also confessed. Shanta and Ishrat told investigators that their homosexual relationship predated both of their marriages, and they were very active with each other. Ostensibly, they were best friends, but behind closed doors, they were lovers. They said that one day they were making out with each other when they noticed Shiranshu, who had returned from his school early, had got them pants down. After which he became stressed and was threatening his mom that he will reveal everything to his father. They were not concerned about Pankaj, but one thing worried them. What if he told someone else? What will happen then? So in order to keep their secrets hidden, they devised a sinister plan and killed Shiranshu. On the fateful day of February 16, Shiranshu came home at around 2 pm. Shanta and Ishrat were waiting. They took him to a room, turned on the TV to drown the voices, and bashed his head against the wall, which made him dizzy. Afterwards, Shanta, who had lost her humanity, picked the Lord Ganesh statue from table and bludgeoned Shiranshu with it. But she still wasn't satisfied, so she went into the kitchen and returned with a vegetable knife, with which she slit his throat and then wrists. The two friends then stared at the kid as the kid writhed to his end. Afterwards, they cleaned themselves and left the house. Shanta took shortcuts and reached her work, while Ishrat, who had to catch a bus, took the main route and was caught on camera, ultimately sealing both of their fates. They were presented before Sirampur court and were remanded in police custody. They had no one to represent them in court. Pankaj Sharma says that the killers of his son should be sent to gallows. That's it for today's case. I hope you liked the case study with me. If you do, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment if you have any suggestion, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and ring the notification bell so you're never gonna miss any of my future uploads. Stay tuned for my next video. Until then, goodbye.